Today's black market offer was the Schwarz Pz58, basically the Black Friday version of this tank here. Now, this tank we've had in the game for probably 6 or 7 years now. Like, they actually released it originally because this tank here sold so badly whenever they originally released it. It was just such a catastrophic failure that they had to release another tank almost immediately after it in order to make up for it. Because this tank, when it originally came out, was really bad, and it was the last medium tank premium really to be like about 10,000 gold whenever it was initially released, and they actually reduced the gold later just because this machine was considered to be such a flop. So this thing here was released after it, and it was the first, as far as I recall, the first tier 8 premium medium that was just better than its standard counterpart, because it was better than the Indian Panzer, which wasn't that hard at the time really, because the Indian Panzer was okay but was never great. But this thing here was genuinely a better vehicle, and it was considered to be the first ever OP premium. And a long time has passed since then, and if it was still in its original form now, it would probably be considered a bad premium. But it was updated back when the Leopard 1 was rebalanced and made better. This thing here was made better as well. I believe, now you probably want to double check this here, I'm going off memory here, and this is from about like 10 months ago. So I believe they improved the shell speed, improved the accuracy, and I think, oh well, I also know they improved the alpha damage a little bit as well, and I think they may have slightly tweaked the mobility and maybe the reload as well. Like, they didn't touch anything with the armor, but they just made the tank a lot more user friendly. I mean, the 250 alpha damage is a really nice little thing to have on this tank, just because it makes it feel a little bit more damaging than the, well, things like the Panther 88. It means you're doing a little bit more damage for shots, so it just feels a little bit nicer to play. Now, I like this vehicle. I really don't mind playing it. It's a decent tank. It's not overpowered in any shape or form, but it is a decent tank. But if I was guessing what the minimum bid would be for this tank for the auction, which unfortunately I didn't get to make a video on, I would have guessed probably 3.5 million to 4 million credits, because the Panzer 58 Moots has been in the game for 6 or 7 years, and that means that probably most people who wanted one already have one. So I would guess that probably like people buying for credits would probably be the only real people going for it. Now, if you were looking to guarantee getting it, you'd probably bid like 5 or 6 million just to guarantee you would get it. But I honestly think you could probably lowball the hell out of this tank and just like potentially bid like even 3 million itself and maybe get it, because there were, I think, 23,000 or 25,000 of them available. So there was a pretty sizable number that you could buy. It was just that I just don't think this vehicle would have been that popular, because it's not a bad tank, but I just don't see it as being a particularly popular tank.